Pikmin is one of the more popular Nintendo franchises, and yet a lot of people have never had the chance to play through the series. With the upcoming release of Pikmin 4 and the announcement of Pikmin 1 and 2 being on the Switch, I knew I had to play through all three games before the launch of Pikmin 4. At the time of recording this video, I'm currently playing through Pikmin 2 on my Twitch channel, and that's because we just wrapped up playing through Pikmin 1. Today's video gives you my full experience of my first playthrough of Pikmin 1. Let's hop into it, I'm excited. Pikmin 1, or better known as Pikmin, has you exploring a mysterious planet as Captain Olimar. The captain who nearly had the same fate as the dinosaurs as he was hit directly by an asteroid and crash landed in the middle of nowhere. But somehow your ship didn't explode into 1,000,000 pieces, instead it exploded into 30 pieces, and conveniently you have 30 days to find them or else, bad things might happen. Right away I noticed that the game aged pretty well considering it came out over 20 years ago. Alright, check out this HD gameplay. It would have been kind of cool if they updated like the grass textures, but I mean, I'm not complaining. But considering that I had only played through Pikmin 3 before, I didn't realize how many quality of life changes they've made since the first game in the series. It feels like so zoomed in, I don't know how to explain it. It feels very zoomed in though. There's gotta be a way to aim, right? Is there a way to like zoom the camera out? I feel like it's so zoomed in. Within a few minutes, we found a red ship that had a blooming flower on top, which we decided to call an onion, because I guess it looks like one? I don't really see it, to be honest. But regardless, a strange creature popped out from inside of it, and within no time, we were introduced to this creature. It's a Pokemon. I quickly built up my army of workers, because if there's one thing I knew about Olimar before playing Pikmin, it's that he's pretty much useless without Pikmin. And once I had built up a respectable army of walking carrots, they went to work right away by moving boxes, producing more Pikmin, and discovering the first and most important part of the ship, the engine. And just like that, the sun began to set and it was time to head to the skies for the night to avoid any trouble overnight with the rest of the wildlife that we've yet to encounter. One day down, one part collected, 29 days to go, and 29 parts to find. I was kind of excited to check out the Forest of Hope. I love the music from this place, and I've always heard of it, but I've obviously never actually been to the Forest of Hope. Right away, I had to release my Pikmin into the wild to help me break out from our landing site because we decided to land into a boxed-in area with no way out unless you had a bunch of Pikmin. It's a good thing we didn't land here first, right? I quickly gathered my resources and encountered the first common enemy in this game, the red Bulborb. And I eventually rounded up enough Pikmin to carry our next ship part, which appeared to be 2 AA batteries, which is kind of concerning that this was heavier than the engine. With about half of day 2 remaining, I decided to take on one of the bigger Bulborbs, and at this point my Pikmin were in sync and on a mission. Give them some musical instruments and they'd be a top-notch marching band. Eventually I stumbled across a yellow onion and discovered a new species of Pikmin that could be thrown higher and carry explosive rocks. And this allowed us to destroy the infrastructure of this strange planet in order to gather more parts. But unfortunately for me and my Pikmin, the wildlife didn't take too kindly to this as they chased us down the entire time throughout this process. With time running out, I had to recall my Pikmin to make sure they'd be safe for the night, and even though they were just a few feet away from bringing us the next ship part, time had run out and we had to leave. But that's okay because at this point we were still on track, 28 days to find 28 parts. Day 3 was kind of a filler episode for me. I went ahead and picked up the part that was left out overnight, and then I attempted to use bombs on the wrong wall. Uh-oh. Oh no! That was a solo mission right there. He's not coming back. Oh no. And that was followed by me attempting to use bombs on the correct wall. Why do they keep going over the wall, dude? I'm not even trying to do that. Oh my god. And after getting through the wall, I found the next ship part, which pretty much looked like a carnival ride. I began day 4 by gathering all the explosive rocks that I could find because there were still walls that needed to be taken down around the map. Surely by now I would have learned how to use these, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I think, because I think I already hit it with 1. I finally tore down the last wall I could, gathered up the missing screw, and then I went back for my carnival ride. But along the way, we encountered just a little bit of trouble. Yeah, these Pikmin are all about to die, by the way. Just jumping bombs. After eventually getting past the Bulborb, I felt pretty good. At this point, I was ahead by a full day because I managed to gather 2 ship parts instead of just 1. And at this point, we'd be off this planet in no time. What could possibly go wrong from here? At this point in the game, I had enough ship parts to unlock the next area on our map, so I had the bright idea of giving it a shot. And that's because I wanted to find the last species of Pikmin. Here I was again, landing in a walled-in place, having to break my way out, except this time I realized why everything was walled in. I used to hate these things in Pikmin 3. My goodness. Oh my god. Right away I found the third and final species of Pikmin, the blue Pikmin, which had the ability to go underwater. And it turns out some of our ship parts are actually waterproof. I decided to leave the yellow submarine alone and gather the gear that was near our landing point before running out of time for the day.
Alone at the edge of a universe, humming a tune. For merely dreaming we were snow.
After a disappointing day 6 to say the least, I decided to go back to the Forest Naval one more time to quickly gather up another ship part. I knew that it was going to take a lot for me to completely finish this area, so I quickly decided to take out the Skylander that was holding one of my ship parts, and I left this place as soon as I could. And now that I had all 3 types of Pikmin, I knew that I would be able to explore the earlier areas of this game, so I decided to head back where this adventure all started. At the impact site there was only one missing ship part left, but more importantly, this gave me the chance to really stock up on all my Pikmin. I gathered up as many Pikmin as I could, grabbed the last ship part from this area, and headed back to the skies for the night. Now that I had my army of blue Pikmin, I was ready to take on the world. I was ready for the Forest of Hope. Nothing could stand in my way. That did absolutely nothing to him. Are these things invincible? There's nothing. Yeah, I pretty much lost all my Pikmin, decided to cut my losses, and grab the one ship part that I had access to before I ran out of time for the day. We finally made it to day 10, which meant that 1/3 of my air supply was gone. I needed to catch back up because I fell behind with gathering ship parts. And in order for me to catch back up, I would have to defeat the armored cannon beetle. Now at first I thought all you had to do was throw bomb rocks in order to stun it or do damage, but then I realized it was much simpler than that. Oh, do you just have to throw any Pikmin up there when he does that? Oh, okay, I see now. I started chunking my Pikmin as soon as I had an opening without realizing that I should have used red Pikmin for this one. That all makes sense. Yo, they all just died! What? And after many more casualties, I finally defeated this enemy and finished up the day by gathering 2 more ship parts, which meant that in 10 days I had managed to gather 10 ship parts and I was right on track with where I needed to be. After many days of avoiding it, I knew I had to return to the Forest Naval because I was still missing 8 parts from here. I didn't really expect this day to be productive at all because I just knew that there'd be a bunch of enemies to get through. Dude, all these fire things are so annoying. This whole map is like so annoying to deal with, man, I swear. All my Pikmin out here dying, dude. After spending the entire day of getting rid of enemies, I grabbed the part that I missed last time, and I managed to get one more ship part that was near my base with 2 seconds to spare. For the first time in days, I was ahead of where I needed to be. At long last, I finally had enough ship parts to check out the final area, the distant spring. As soon as I landed in this mysterious place, I noticed something right away. Okay, right away I'm seeing lots of water, so let's just start off with blues and adventure a little bit, you know? Throughout my Pikmin experience so far, I learned that multitasking is the best way to make sure you get everything done in time, so I started off by sending my blues to the bridge, and they went to work right away. Meantime, I took out a few enemies to make sure I could pluck more Pikmin because I just had a little feeling that I might need them for later. And before the day was up, my blue Pikmin managed to finish the bridge, which meant that one more piece was being added to the ship. Day 13 was once again another filler episode, but not just a regular filler episode, an annoying filler episode. An episode filled with various enemies that just kept killing my Pikmin. No! He ate all of them! Oh my dude, he's eating them so fast! I wasn't safe in the water, I wasn't safe on land, and I wasn't even safe in my base because this guy kept harassing me. No, I don't want to pluck Pikmin, I'm trying to throw them, I'm trying to save them. This game is so stressful, I swear. I wasn't even safe in the air. Come on, Pikmin, we can do it. I basically found a part, but I couldn't get it to the ship in time, so I got nothing done today. Alright, so at this point in my run through of Pikmin, I started to get to the halfway point in the game. It was day 14, and I knew I needed a bunch of parts from the distant spring, so I kinda just spent the next 2 days doing cleanup duty. Days 14 and 15 basically featured me going back for the parts that I wasn't able to get earlier, taking out enemies in order to get those parts, and of course bringing as many Pikmin into this world as I possibly could. Over the course of day 14 and day 15, I managed to gather up 4 parts, which meant at the halfway point in this game, I only needed 13 more parts. Things were starting to look up for me. The only way for me to collect all 30 parts is if I collected all 30 parts, which means that I had to go back to the Forest of Hope at some point. There was one piece left here that was guarded by one of the most annoying enemies in the game, and I knew I had to tackle this one with the Red Army. Ahead of the battle, I was warned by my chat that this operation would require us to cross water, but of course I ignored the warning signs. I mean, we'll be fine, right? We'll be fine. There's no railings? No, I believe. Trust me. Trust. Hold up now. Reset. Starting out, I struggled a bit with figuring out how to do the most damage. Is there like a strategy on like how to kill these things faster? But then I realized I could take matters into my own hands. Maybe if I just start punching at myself. That's the strat, actually. Yeah, I just gotta start punching at myself. That's actually the strat. Dude, that's the way to beat this faster. You just have to start punching yourself. After a long battle, I finally defeated the birds, grabbed the last ship part, and said goodbye to the Forest of Hope, hopefully for the last time. Surprisingly, the next 3 days of my Pikmin journey were actually very productive for me. I spent all 3 days at the distant spring despite how often it confused me. I'm a little confused, I'm not even gonna lie. I deposited my yellows so I could get blues, and then I turned them back into yellows. I feel like this whole situation here is probably so simple, I'm just like dumb and I can't figure it out right now. And I'd have to say, compared to the other areas in the game, the enemies here aren't that bad, and that's because the biggest enemies were the Pikmin themselves. Dude, all my... these Pikmin, dude, I swear. They can't follow you, they just don't know how to listen. Hold up now, we're cheating the system. Oh my goodness, we might be cheating the system. Okay. Yeah, Pikmin, okay. Is this how it's supposed to? No, no, Pikmin, no! Oh, dude. That being said, I managed to gather up the remaining parts from the distant spring within those 3 days, and I even managed to wrap up the last day early before leaving the distant spring for good. At long last, it was time to return to the Forest Navel, the one place that I did my best to avoid for as long as possible. And if you've played Pikmin before, you know exactly why. Right away, I knew exactly what I needed to spend day 20 doing. I haven't been here in a hot minute. I know there's lots of fire and lots of water, so I'm just gonna start off with the reds and try to clear as many enemies as I can right now, and then just try to get some parts. After spending half the day taking out enemies and gathering more Pikmin, I made exploring this area a little more manageable for the next few days. I spent my time looking for each remaining ship part, and I managed to do it within the span of 4 days. By the end of day 23, I had successfully explored the Forest Navel and gathered everything I needed, which meant that all I needed to do for me to get off this planet was find the final remaining piece to the ship. Okay, so going into the final area, I was pretty sure that there was just going to be a final boss, and once you beat it, you got the final ship part. What I didn't realize is that you had one last puzzle to solve before getting to the boss. And even though it was pretty clear that the game wanted you to utilize each Pikmin in their own way, I was completely lost on what to do with the red Pikmin. Do I have to move it from the other side? Is that how you do this? So how do I get over there? If I can't go that way, I can't go this way. I'm missing something and it's very obvious, and it is frustrating me right now. I wasted an entire day trying to figure out what to do with them, and I ran out of time. After trying basically everything, I decided to look up the answer, and I couldn't believe what you had to do. You had to guide the Pikmin by whistling through the wall in an area that you couldn't even see. And this literally felt like one of those shortcuts that I usually find in games that aren't really supposed to be there, but you can kind of exploit. But no, that's actually what you're supposed to do. Either way, I finally got through it, and I approached the final boss of the game, Emperor Bulbax. And this is where things started to go downhill. Can he like eat up the bombs? Is that gonna do more damage? It is! That's what I thought. I have no Pikmin left! I have no Pikmin left. He ate them all! Do I just like lose because I don't have any more Pikmin, dude? Like... He blew them all up. What am I supposed to do with this? So let me go ahead and turn everything yellow and let's try this again. How it does. Just because it's probably gonna catch him off guard. And it did, so... I'm dead? No, oh my god. And back to the Force of Hope we go, right? Yeah, I went into the final boss completely unprepared, and by the time I figured out what to do, it was way too late. He cleared out all my Pikmin, and the only good thing about it was the fact that I had a few days to spare. And trust me, I definitely needed them, because I made the dumb mistake of going to the Force of Hope for more Pikmin instead of going to the Impact site. So I wasted an entire day walking around the Force of Hope, getting Pikmin, losing Pikmin, when all I had to do was go to the Impact site because there's Pikmin everywhere around there for free. I basically wasted 2 days trying to get my Pikmin numbers up, and as day 28 approached, I knew I would only have one more chance at this. Let's try this one more time, except this time I'm only bringing yellows and reds. Blue Pikmin are literally useless for this last boss fight. My strategy going into this fight was simple this time around. Since the arena was bowl-shaped, I needed to keep my red Pikmin at the high ground, I needed to collect all the bomb rocks from my yellow Pikmin, and I only needed to take one at a time with me. Once Emperor Bulbax was stunned, I would be able to call on my reds to do the damage. This process took me a while to complete because it was pretty much just rinse and repeat until his health ran out, and after what felt like forever, I had finally done it. He killed so many of them, but we're so close. We got this. Oh, we got this. Oh, we got this. Come on. He has the slightest sliver of health. Oh, thank you. At long last, we have found the secret safe. Are you kidding me? The whole boss fight was for a safe? Are you kidding me? I can safely say that Pikmin 1 is one of the better Nintendo games that you'll get to play. And sure, some moments can be frustrating with the controls or your Pikmin just getting stuck in places, but overall this game was really ahead of its time considering it came out over 20 years ago. This game is honestly very unique and I really can't think of another game like it. And even though you basically have endless Pikmin throughout the game, you still get attached to them when one dies or gets left behind. The goal of the game is simple, but there are plenty of challenges to keep you busy from start to finish. And I think Pikmin has transferred over pretty well to the Switch in the HD version. So this is a great place to start if you're even slightly interested in Pikmin 4. Thank you for watching the video, and I hope you enjoyed my recap of my adventure with Pikmin 1. Like I mentioned at the start of the video, I am currently playing through Pikmin 2 at the time of making this video, so definitely check out my Twitch channel and go follow me over there if you're interested. And of course, if you enjoy all things Pikmin or Nintendo in general, please consider subscribing to the channel and let me know that you enjoyed it. I haven't decided if I'll do a recap like this for the other Pikmin games yet, but if the demand is there, I'll be sure to deliver. I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.